Here I am in Charleston. This is the 18th century farmhouse built by the Bloomsbury set. Some of them were ceramicists. Okay, Vanessa Bell, Quentin Bell, Stephen Wolfe. Also Virginia Wolfe, born Virginia Stephen. Vanessa Bell was her sister. So Quentin and Vanessa were husband and wife. They had 2 sons who were here and so on. And a lot of them ceramicists. Look at all this they've done here. There's going to be eggs and fish above the sink. This is the kitchen area. So all this is original work. So part of the Bloomsbury set, a group of radical artists and intellectuals based around Bloomsbury Square in London, who existed from roughly 1900 to 1950. It wasn't a society or something. There was no constitution. There was no membership roll, but just they existed informally, and they held progressive views, indeed perhaps revolutionary views, on just about every issue. They were feminist. They believed in the decriminalisation of homosexuality, things which are now mainstream, in decolonization and so on. Socialism, pacifism, back then highly contentious. Best place for me is?
Well, I can't look at every room, so you
choose the least problematic room, yeah. Because they're not meant to have more than 10 people in a room. Clive Bell's study, you see. A lot of the furniture is original. So, and the artwork by them. So they're painters as well, writers. Virginia Woolf, best known as a novelist. The First World War conscription came in 1916, so they purchased this dilapidated farmhouse to make it a work of national importance, to exempt the men from compulsory military service. And they were sort of anti-nationalist. And this is a portrait here of Clive Bell. So the Bloomsbury group, they broke up roughly 1950. They started dying off. John Maynard Keynes, the economist, the liberal peer, he used to come here, died in 1946, cremated, his ashes scattered not far from here. And look at that, tabletop. And this window is very characterful. There's a pleasingly musty smell here. Look at the little fish pond out there. I don't know what they actually used to make in this farm. Some of them were vegetarians. So they were heterosocial, so everything like that. So believed that men and women could mingle, not as couples and not just with a view to dating, but simply to socialise. And Virginia Woolf was bisexual, for example. She's from a very intellectual family.
Did you download the app at all?
No, I didn't.
Well, you could do, because there's quite descriptions.
More information. No, I heard about that.
Information.
Thank you for telling me.
Unfortunately, they haven't got the catalogues.
Okay.
They haven't been delivered. Otherwise, they've got some really good reproductions as well.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you. So her father, Mr. Stephen, was a well-known writer, went to Eton, and what's her name? Virginia Woolf was first cousin of J.K. Stephen, the poet, who died at the age of 32. All right, what was I going to say about her? She committed suicide in 1941. Virginia Woolf, most famously, authoress of To the Lighthouse. Okay, so there are more the barns and so on over there. So it's enormous. Now it's a cafe performance space. So they believed in free love. So mostly married couples here, but they're often partner swapping. This is before they had to have a range here. Before central heating, they had to be burning fires all the time. So anyway, it's handcrafted. It's beautiful. It's different. At least these are reasonably tall. Even I can fit through these doorways, because often people are banging their heads that the doorways were so low. So how about that? I do like the bare stone tiles and floorboards here. Mostly carpets upstairs. When they got out of bed in bare feet, so as not to get too cold. So it's all very different, very characterful. Look at that, sort of cubist modern art. I wonder who this little boy is supposed to be. Hello.
Hello. The little boy is by Walter Sickart.
And was he one of the Bloomsbury set, Walter Sickart?
He wasn't really, but most of them knew each other, modern
Okay.
artists, that sort of thing.
Right. Was he a guest here, Walter Sickart, then?
Yes, he used to visit,
Okay, good.
and he was a friend of Duncan Grant's.
Oh, good. And by the way, what did they actually produce on this farm?
Well, originally it was just an ordinary farmhouse.
But they were
Mixed farm.
but growing vegetables, or was it a sheep farm or a what?
Yeah, mixed
All sorts.
and animals. But because of the First World War,
Yes.
everybody went off to fight.
Yes.
So this was vacant, and it was part of Lord Gage's estate, still is.
Yes.
And it was available for rent.
Right.
The Bloomsburys were, well, they're called the Bloomsbury Group, although they never called themselves the Bloomsbury.
Oh, but others call them that, yeah.
Did. They were conscientious objectors,
Of course.
so they had to find a place where they could live, but the men had to work on the farm, otherwise they would have been sent to prison.
Sure. And when did they stop living here, the Bloomsburys?
1916,
1916. That's when they started, isn't it?
yes.
When did they stop?
Well, they left, Duncan Grant left here in 1973,
Wow. Okay.
so a long time.
Okay, then it turned into this trust. Okay, thank you so much. Marvellous to see this room here.
Interesting.
It is very different, yes. Very pleasant. These are murals, right?
Yes, Duncan Grant painted them.
So comfortable. It's big, but not too big. Wow.
You could just imagine sitting on the gym toilet.
It's before sort of mass manufactured furniture, yeah.
T.S. Eliot had the first draft of the wasteland. He went here.
Good, good. Wow. So Thomas Stearns Eliot, the American British poet, the one who wrote about macavity and so on. He was a member of the Bloomsbury set, who saw it. He lived on to the 1960s. His second wife only died about 10 years ago. And they got a little bath in this room. Vanessa's room. Vanessa Bell's room.
Did they spend winters here?
During the Second World War and during the First World War, yes. Although
So there's so many bedrooms.
Cassis, South France, they'd go in the winter.
These are just sort of unnecessarily large rooms.
It was a very, very
And look how high the ceiling is in here. So huge windows for the artist to admit the maximum amount of sunlight. I wonder which direction this faces. So artist studios as well as everything else. A walled garden. And I've seen a bust like that, sort of trying to do Neo-Grecian art. And look at this enormous easel. So maybe get some idea of the size of things. I try not to, what's the word? Try not to change angle too much so you actually realise what you're seeing is irritating to change angle too frequently. Get some idea of the dimensions of the place. Right, I think that's enough from Charleston.